I'll take the ball now. I'll receive the kickoff. I grant you 3 points for that segment. A nice field goal.
There's our only football talk of the day, folks.
Hey, the Dolphins fired their GM. That's something.
They need to burn the whole stadium down.
It's a cart fire.
Dumpster fire.
Oh my God. It's like you know what it is? It's a train fire, like in so many movies where you just see a train going down the rails and it's still on fire the whole time. And you're like, oh, that's not good. That's very bad.
Can I tell you how happy my only football thing that both fantasy games I'm playing, my opponent had Mark Andrews on the bench.
Credit to him. That's a man that drops those passes.
He does.
Not the fucking time. Not in that game. Not in that game.
That made me so happy.
So congratulations. Lamar Jackson is back. The Ravens aren't dead necessarily, and the Bills get a little bit of credibility back. Because
I think the Ravens need to play someone other than the Dolphins before I'll give them any kind of flowers.
I just am trying to glom onto anything I can because I genuinely think the Bills might miss the playoffs this year. We're recording this at 11:30 right now. It's about 11:30, so none of the games have started. So God forbid, I don't even know how the Bills are going to lose to the Chiefs today, but I know that they will.
But they can also prove that last week wasn't a fluke by going out and playing like they did last week.
And this is where I reach over and I get my tinfoil dunce cap and I put it squarely on my head and I say, but what would the NFL want to have happen,
well,
Steve?
there you go.
What does the NFL want to have happen? They want the Chiefs to win because they want everybody to talk about the Chiefs like they are this inevitable juggernaut that will flatten everything in their path.
Can I tell you, when they beat Detroit, I stopped listening to anything football online because I knew the second that happened,
the slurping,
it would all be Chiefs. And
it's
I'm like,
all slurping.
I can't listen to that.
And
there are 31 other teams.
No one talked about any of the mitigating factors in that game.
Nope.
Everybody just talked about it like, oh, the Chiefs are back. Nobody talked about, oh, the weird Travis Kelce drop that wasn't a drop. Nobody talked about, oh, the 5 penalties that weren't called, including on the last touchdown. They talked about the fight at the end. They talked all about that, but they didn't talk about any of the instigating factors that led to the fight, like how the refs were almost clearly giving it to the Chiefs, which the Lions are used to at this point, but never makes it any less stinging when it happens. And so I'm just... My tinfoil dunce cap is off to the side now.
Yes.
I'm just saying. We'll see what happens today.
We'll see.
I did finish Ghost of Yote.
Nice.
Great ending. Great story. I love that the way that the game ends. This isn't a spoiler, but the way that the game ends is with you basically talking to one of the characters and being like, oh, I have a story about that. And it switches back to before you finished the last fight of the game, awesome. To be like, oh, and now you can go back, and this takes place before you fought the last boss of the game, so it's like still technically canon, but it's also different, and you can't go and fight the last boss of the game again because you already did that. And so it's like, okay, but there's also more stuff in the end game to do.
Gotcha.
I really like that. I will say, and the continued, is this a complaint? Is this a critique? Is this just me being picky? I don't know which of these three things it is, but the game does this thing that I have decided is hilarious, even if it's annoying in the moment, where it talks a lot about being honorable and the way to do honorable combat, and then immediately is like, nah, fuck that. Nice. So like you'll be in a fight, you're fighting this guy that's never lost. And he's like, okay, you beat me once, yes, but now we're gonna have an ultimate duel on the top of a mountain. And you're like, okay, fuck it, let's go. I'll go do this fucking fight with this guy. And you climb this mountain, you go up, you collect all these things, you finally summon him to this mountain, and you're like, okay, let's do this great last duel between the two of us. It's going to be great. It's going to be epic. And then he immediately starts trying to disarm you and attack you while you're picking up your stuff. And I'm like, Mr. Samurai Man, I have a question about this because it really feels like this is unfair and not the way you would want your last duel to go, is to disarm your opponent and then strike them down with 9 million strikes from heaven. I feel like that's not especially sporting, so I don't know how that would be how you want to go out in this world if this is how the last fight's going to go for you. The last boss mission, again, this isn't a spoiler, but when you finish the first phase, he takes out his katana to show that he's serious now. And you've earned his respect enough that he's going to duel you with a katana. And I always fight with 2 katanas. That's just how I play. If I have the option for dualies, I always go dualies. And so there's a cutscene, and the main character puts away one of her swords, and now she just has the one sword out. And I'm like, okay, so this is like old school samurai movie. We are going to fight to the death. Cool, great. And then you start attacking this guy, and he pulls out a pistol and shoots you. And I'm like, hang on! Wait a minute! What the fuck was that? What was that whole thing about? Where I put away my sword and we agreed that we were going to fight each other on equal levels? What was that all about? Because then you pulled out a gun and shot me.
Because he saw Raiders of the Lost Ark.
So what the fuck was that, dude? And so meanwhile, Kelly's like, then shoot him back. And I'm like, but that's not the point. The point is that the game is telling me to do something one way and then not holding itself to that same standard at the exact same moment. And I cannot stand that. As a person who cannot stand things being unfair and has a tinfoil dunce cap devoted to how things seem unfair.
Your Ghost of Yote's tinfoil hat is right next to your Buffalo Bill.
I'm just like, but guys... Hey, maybe don't.
Oh, that is funny as hell.
So anyway, it's a good game. I like it a lot. It's really fun and has a great story.
Nice.
And I still give it an A+, despite some of me and its differing natures in terms of how
Growing
we would like
pains,
to
let's
do
say.
things.
Growing pains.
Yes, we don't agree on everything. You know, we're definitely the kind of friends where we go out for a drink, and there is definitely a 20-minute period of us shouting at each other.
Nice.
But by the end of the night, we hug, we make up, we agree to disagree, and we move on with our lives. So
Interesting.
it's a good game. I like it a lot. It's very good. I can't wait for the DLC that they're going to come out with next year. I wish it wasn't coming out next year, but here we are. We watched World War Z, the extended edition, for Halloween.
Very good movie.
I like that movie a lot. I think that it needs a new title.
Yeah, because it's nothing like the book.
I think you got to
can't
just,
call
if you
World War Z.
ditch that title,
Yes.
and if you just call it Z-Day or something like that, that's a popular movie.
Yeah.
It's because you had the audacity to call it World War Z. That's the only reason people hate that movie. And
Because, like, I understand when books and movies don't completely coincide.
Mm-hmm.
This movie's nothing.
this movie
Zero.
disregarded everything but the
1,000%.
title of the
Exactly.
book.
That's the only
And
thing.
you're just like, why? Then why take the title of the book and nothing else? Going back to Shane Black. This is Shane Black in another fiasco, Iron Man 3,
Yep.
using
The Mandarin.
Iron Patriot as a character and being like, I'm going to introduce the Iron Patriot. And I'm like, I would really rather you did it, because that means something to some of us. It's not just a name. It does have connotations.
He fucked up the Iron Patriot and the Mandarin.
And the Mandarin.
In one fucking movie.
Yeah.
Which, that's a lot,
That's
man.
a lot. It takes some serious cojones to be
Yeah.
like, no. I don't care about any of this stuff.
Yep.
I just want the name. I'm going to do something cool with the name. And then it's like, so your something cool is that you gave Rhodey a red, white, and blue color scheme.
Yeah, which was dumb.
And then you made the Mandarin like a fake out. And then it was a different thing that was also Extremis, but not with Ezekiel stain. What's happening?
So
What are we doing? What is this? What's going on here? But we're not here to talk about Iron Man 3 and the fiasco that it is, or the fact that an extremely young Jenna Ortega is in that movie. It turns out that in every Iron Man movie, an actress who will later go on to be in big things shows up. And you're just like, hang on a minute.
That's true. I forgot.
Is that Kate Mara in Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
It is. Is that Olivia Munn in Iron Man 1? It is. It
and
is.
Leslie Bibb. I mean, she was
Leslie
pretty
Bibb
young
shows
in her
up.
career.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
anyway, we're not talking about Iron
Yes.
Man 3. I like World War Z a lot. I think that it has a really kinetic plot.
Yep.
In terms of like, it keeps you moving along on this train line. It is really interesting because it does take the time to set up certain things and then immediately throws them away. So it's like, oh, here's this boy genius that studies everything to do with diseases, and then he's going to shoot himself in the head. And you're just like, what the fuck was that? What was the point of that? We just had a 20-minute conversation with this guy about how smart he is and how he like has a raging hard-on for nature. And like, I just left that conversation being like, you have a complicated relationship with women, don't you? They don't like you and you don't understand why.
That's still one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah.
In that movie, though.
But like,
So great.
I did really like watching it and seeing the breadcrumbs that they leave for you, because they do, again, in this movie that has a terrible title, given the circumstances, it's really cleverly written.
Yeah.
The way that they introduce the zombies is really dynamic and interesting. You are kind of left wondering at various times what the actual timeline of events is, because as the plot is uncovered, it seems like some people knew about this for far longer than the 3 days we're presented it with. Like how Jerusalem has an entire wall built around it now, and you're just like, how did that happen? That's interesting. I thought it'd only been 3 days. I guess it's been longer for some people, but it never made its way to Philadelphia. That news just never made its way to Philadelphia. Okay, interesting. So it's not without fault. It does have a little bit of that tropiness of like, we got to go up into this apartment building and then we're going to find this family and we're going to stay in this apartment building with this family. I'm like, I've seen 28 Days Later.
Yeah, it's a lot of cliches.
Yeah, but that being said, the way that they introduced this concept that the zombies are only interested in healthy hosts by like really subtly just kind of like laying out things here and there. And you're just like, oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah,
that's really interesting.
That was a very interesting take on it.
My favorite thing was that they show that the zombies are extremely picky about hosts to the degree of if everybody just became an alcoholic, they'd be fine.
Yeah.
There's an alcoholic on the street. There's a hobo drinking himself to death on the street, and the zombies don't care about him because his body is fucked. And I'm just left being like, so if we all just got like really boozed up for like a month, like a mandatory blackout period,
they would all just die.
The zombies wouldn't care about any of us because all of our livers would be fucked. And then we would just have to cut out half of our livers and then move on with our lives. So it's like one last hurrah for alcohol on the planet because nobody's going to be able to drink after this. But I do like this movie a lot. I think that it desperately needs a new title, which we're going to talk about with Weapons too. Yeah. That was one of the things that I came away from Weapons with.
Yeah, and we're
going to get to that. I really like this movie, and I wish that it wasn't called World War Z. My last note is that this is a movie that has like a plethora of people where you're like, is that Matthew Fox from Lost? Yes, he's here for 1 minute, and then he's gone.
Which he had a longer scene that got cut.
Yeah. And then you see one of the Kens from Barbie at the very early edge of his career just as a guy on a phone taking calls on this battleship. Ruth Negga shows up for 10 minutes, and my personal favorite, Peter Capaldi as Who Doctor.
The year before
Doctor Who. So we were watching it. There's a scene where they have to take off out of Jerusalem, right?
Yeah,
and there's a Belarusian plane. Brad Pitt goes up to the cockpit and is slamming on the door, and one of the pilots turns around, and Kelly is just looking at him. She's just looking at him. And I'm like, what? And she's like, that's Yuri from Stranger Things.
Oh, you're kidding me!
And I was like, holy shit, that is Yuri from Stranger Things.
Awesome.
Not this Katinka, but that Katinka.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was a great moment of like, oh shit, that is Yuri.
That's great.
Oh my god, he looks exactly the same, just like 10 years younger.
That's fucking awesome. But yeah, the Peter Capaldi part still kills me.
It's still hilarious.
The odds of that.
It's incredible.
And the fact that he doesn't have a name, he's just Who Doctor.
Who Doctor. It's so good. There's a lot of people that don't have names in this script.
Yeah.
I'm just left kind of being like, this script must have been the weirdest thing to sell because you have all these speaking roles and none of them have names. And you're just left being like...
The thing about it is this was one of those films that was in production hell. Like they reshot a bunch at the end and whatnot. Yeah. And it still was actually successful.
It's
like
not bad.
It did good numbers.
Yeah.
Like I want to say they were very profitable for it.
And they still were able to do zombies in a way that we hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
The zombies climbing on top of each other like ants. We hadn't really seen that in a movie before World War Z. And so it does a good job of doing everything except adapting the text.
Which I
World
wish
War
they
Z.
would do
I know.
That book is so fucking good.
Just make World War Z and call it something else.
They have it was actually the audiobook version of World War Z that Max Brooks directed. It has insane. The cast is like literally the who's who. He said he actually had his dad help him. He got Scorsese to do a voice.
Wow.
Like he got all these massive stars to do voices in the book. It's probably the most star-studded audiobook you'll ever listen to.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. Like the book itself is so fucking good.
Yeah. Like even a motion comic at this point. Like give me something.
Exactly.
Like you've given, I know that there is a World War Z motion comic, but like I want like a full thing.
Exactly.
And like you could even call it World War Z based on the book World War Z. And we would be like, oh, a distinction between the movie and the other movie. Okay, because the other movie definitely wasn't based on World War Z. That was definitely its own thing. So go back and check that out if you haven't checked it out. Also to check out, if you've never seen it, is Over the Garden Wall, which is a staple in our house at the Halloween Thanksgiving juncture.
Okay.
So Over the Garden Wall stars Elijah Wood, Melanie Linsky,
Okay.
Christopher Lloyd, John Cleese, Tim Curry. A bunch of people show up to do voices in it, and it's this. It's technically 10 parts, but each part is about 12 minutes long. So it's 10, 12-minute long episodes. And it's just these two boys wandering through this magical wood, trying to find their way home. And it's just beautiful. It's like, again, going back to that kind of like creepy aesthetic. The aesthetic of it is definitely creepy. You know, it's not pretty. It's not like gorgeous to look at. It's creepy. It has kind of like a Burton-y quality without all the long limbs and everything. But it is just a gorgeous series of stories. They're all very silly. The writing is really good. There's often music. There's a lot of music throughout the show.
Oh, it's an Amazon Prime.
It was on Cartoon Network.
Okay.
And
it's on Prime Video now.
It's on Prime Video. I think it's on Hulu as well. God, if you've never seen Over the Garden Wall, check it out because it is... It was of that era when, right after Adventure Time came out, Cartoon Network went to basically all the animators at Adventure Time and said, what else you got? And they all got to submit things. And so you had Steven Universe, you had Over the Garden Wall, you had, I can never remember what the wrestling one is called. There's a wrestling one too that came out around the same time. And it's just all of these really clever, really well written, really caring stories. And Over the Garden Wall is just full of that, of just like, there's, stupid kid problems, but there's also like real adventure and deep sadness and betrayal and, kind of this like doom and gloom over the entire thing. The idea that adults aren't infallible, that adults are very easy to trick. They're as easy to trick as kids, but they don't think that they are. And so it's just like, it's really clever in its writing. It's really beautiful in its storytelling. And I just love the two main characters. Wirt and Greg are just wonderful. They're half brothers. There's an episode where they go to a tavern and everybody sings their stories. And so you have Elijah Wood trying to sing this story about him and his half brother. And he's just like, he's my brother because my mom got divorced and married his dad and then had him. But it's like that kind of tone. Yeah. There's one of my favorites is they show up to this tavern and there's a guy in a bandit mask looking out the window and you're like, that's weird and creepy. And when they start singing, Elijah Wood's character Wirt is like, what do you mean singing? And this guy from the corner just goes, I'm the highwayman. What? I'm the highwayman. I make ends meet like any other man. I work with my hands. And you're just like,
what the fuck?
This is amazing. Yeah. I love this, and it's so creepy.
Yeah.
Knock you out, steal your shoes from off your feet. And it's like, I think I love everything about this show. It's so good.
It's insane.
It's I think a great exemplifier of the entire thing is early on in the show. Again, this is the kind of nature of the show. They find a schoolhouse where all the students are animals in children's clothes, and they're all being taught how to spell and write and play instruments. And their lunch is just potatoes. It's just mashed potatoes. Okay. And so one of the boys gets a thing of molasses and starts mixing it in with the potatoes. And he has an entire song about potatoes and molasses. And at the end of the story, during one of the high drama moments, this song plays again, but it's in Latin. It's in Latin in a lower key. Oh, and so it's weird. Very dark and morose, but the dialogue is still potatoes and molasses. And it's just like, this is so fucking great. I love this so much. So definitely, if you've never seen Over the Garden Wall, you got to check it out. It's fucking great. It's perfect for this time of year. It's spooky enough for Halloween, but it also has like this very fall atmosphere the entire way through. It's very autumn based. So it's fucking great. If you've never seen it, you got to check it out. A few quick hitters to go off of here because these are just like kind of, I just want to knock them into the goal. I started watching Spectacular Spider-Man again. It's my favorite Spider-Man. If you've never seen Spectacular Spider-Man, check it out. It's the reason why I hate the Tom Holland Spider-Mans is because the show shows you what you can do with this character very soon after he gets his powers. And without losing anything, and instead reinforcing everything with characterization.
Gotcha.
And it's so good. Check it out. If you've never seen it, check it out. It's on Disney Plus. Check it out. We watched It 2017 in preparation for Welcome to Derry. I'm very excited for Welcome to Derry. And God, that movie is so good.
That first one's amazing.
It doesn't lose a bit.
Nope.
Not anything off the top
Genius.
spin. It's so good. The entire way through, it's so good. And Bill Skarsgård is incredible. I did hear an interesting story about Stellan Skarsgård. I don't know if you've heard this. He had a stroke recently.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He has memory issues now. So now all of his lines have to be fed to him in an earpiece.
Oh, no.
And so he says he's going to keep acting, that he loves acting too much to walk away from it. But, keep a candle out for Stellan Skarsgård, because
I still never forget the first movie I ever saw him in was Hunt for Red October.
Oh, my God. He's so good in that. He's so good in that.
Playing
You
the
fool.
Russian.
You've killed us.
Oh, fucking that sucks. I
know.
love that guy.
I know. And the progeny.
Oh, he's got all...
There's a third.
Yeah,
there's a third
three
Skarsgård son coming up, and I think a grandson to boot as
Probably.
well. So, anyway,
That's sad.
keep a candle out for Stellan Skarsgård. And then I just wanted to talk. Rocky Horror. We rewatched Rocky Horror, and you and I had discussed Rocky Horror recently. That is such a fascinating movie.
It really is.
Granted, I was going in and out because I was very sleepy
Yeah.
when we were watching it the night before Halloween, or I guess it was Halloween night we were watching it, and that was after I had gone through all of the everything, so it was like the end of the night, and I was just tired. I was just very tired. But that is a fascinating movie.
Well, like you said about the Monster Squad, it is a movie of its generation.
It's very much of its time. But at the same time, it so fully embraces itself in what it wants to be. And so it really does have this mentality of, like, this is who I am. Love me or leave me. I don't fucking care. And you're just like, all right, okay, I guess so. The ending is still... I didn't mind it as much on this, I think, my third or fourth watch-through of it, which is still in baby terms for Rocky Horror. People fucking watch that thing like I watch The Simpsons. God, there are just so many moments where you're just kind of left being like, what's happening now? The narration element of it, where you're just like, this seems important and yet not at all important to what's happening. And the narrator explaining the dance moves and all these. You're just kind of like, okay, this is...
there were a lot of drugs in the making of that movie.
Yeah.
There's nothing cohesive about
everything.
that film.
Everything about Riff Raff. I was trying to follow Riff Raff's characterization in this. I was just like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. So you're the butler and you're helping out with all of this, and then at the very end you turn on him. I don't, and you just start shooting people, and just people are just dead.
Yeah,
people are just dead everywhere. The Brad and Janet of it all, and you're just like, were they mind wiped when they went through the Medusa ray? What is going on here? I'm so confused by everything.
Yeah,
when Meatloaf literally just drives out of a freezer, apropos of literally nothing, and you're just like, guys,
it's fucking out there.
I'm fucking lost, man.
Yeah. No, that movie's fucking out there.
Yeah, so, but, always worth a watch.
It's one you have to see.
You have to see it.
You have to see it.
It's definitely one of those, like, in the, as a film student, you do have to watch this one in the same way that you have to watch Rear Window, because it's important to see how different people take filming to its ultimate zenith.
Yeah.
And I think that this movie, in the same way as Rear Window, takes its very specific vision of film to its ultimate conclusion, which is why it has the weird fucking ending that makes no sense that it has.
And I think of all things, and it gets downplayed too much for me, is this was as iconic a performance by Tim Curry than any actor has had in any role.
Oh, yeah.
He is so perfect. I mean, unbelievable.
He all at once is magnetic and terrifying.
Yeah.
When he's chasing after Eddie, it's legitimately terrifying. Yeah. When he shows up, it's kind of overwhelming to see him. You're just like, this is a lot, dude. This is a lot.
His charisma was just off the charts.
And then when he, like, I always forget that he's the priest at the wedding at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So he's just standing there. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck is happening?
That's fucking insane.
Yeah. So anyway, definitely check it out. It's not necessarily my cup of tea, but I can deeply appreciate why other people like it. The last thing I wanted to bring up is that the World Series just ended. And I watched all of the last game. I watched a lot of this World Series. I fell asleep during a lot of it because so much of it went to extra innings. The biggest takeaways I had from this World Series are, 1, anybody who says that 18-inning games are stupid and we shouldn't do them in the World Series, you're a baby.
Yes.
You're a baby. If you can't stand up and take care of yourself, baby. Go back to the back of the line and find a wet nurse who can take care of you, because I'm not interested. So many of the same people that have been pounding their chest over stupid NFL takes are the same people that watched that game and they were like, oh, it's too long.
No.
It's too long. No, fuck you.
An extra inning Game 7 game is like the apex of what you want.
They want to put ghost runners on.
Oh, that's so dumb.
It's fucking stupid. So you just get
dumb.
a single and you win? That's fucking... You have the opposite problem that the NFL has. The NFL can't figure out its overtime system either, but they can't figure it out in a fair way.
Yeah.
You have it so it's so fair that it sometimes takes hours to finish a game. They played 2 full games to finish one game. This was an 8-game World Series, except the third game was just 2 games.
Yeah.
And anybody who doesn't like that, I get it. The game ended at 3 a.m. I also know that, according to the NBA, this is a highlight-driven society. And a lot of people logged on to watch the highlights of that game afterwards.
Yep.
So you can't tell me that engagement was down. I think that any tampering with this, you're insane.
Yeah.
This is perfect. This is exactly what you want playoff baseball to be. You want it to be intense, drawn out. You want it to be a slugfest. You want it to be 2 teams just throwing punches. And whoever's standing at the end of all the volleys is the winner. And that's what we got.
And front and center, you have the superstar of all superstars.
The greatest baseball player of all time. Not an understatement.
Nope.
Not an overreaction. The greatest baseball player of all time. How great is he? He didn't even have that great a World Series, but just the fact that he was there.
Yeah. But his moments, I mean, he had the multiple home run game.
Yep.
And then yesterday, he gave up 3 runs pitching, but then he had 2 hits. And you're like...
Well, and you look at Game 4 that he pitched after Game 3. So they had this marathon Game 3 that Shohei Ohtani played the entire game of.
Yep.
For anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, Shohei Ohtani is a pitcher who also hits 50 home runs a year.
Yeah, he's one of the best hitters
so
in the
you've
league.
Never heard of this before. How unheard of is he?
And he got traded for some fucking reason.
Well, because the Angels... No, he didn't get traded. This was the thing. Was that the Angels had him and Mike Trout for fucking ever. Years. We're talking like 4 or 5 years they had these 2 players who are universally thought of as the 2 greatest players of baseball on the planet. And the Angels are such a poorly run organization that the entire time they couldn't do anything with it.
Yep.
But they also refused to let Shohei go. And so Shohei went into free agency.
That's right. It was free agent move.
They got nothing. He left, and they got nothing for him.
That might go down as the greatest free agent pickup in the history of all sports.
Well, in ironic twist, who was it between? It was between L.A., the Dodgers, and the Toronto Blue Jays, who thought they really had a chance because even though they're in Canada and Shohei is very particular about the weather that he plays in, he wants it to be warm, he wants it to be outdoors, he wants it to be a year-long thing where he can go out and train all year long and not have to worry about the weather. That's California. That's certainly not Toronto. That's not Toronto.
Nope.
But Toronto thought, we have a dome. We can make this work. We're very clever. We can make this work. And Shohei just was like, nah, we're not doing this, man. So, and that happened like 3 or 4 times afterwards with the Dodgers and Blue Jays, where they would be going after the same player, and that player would choose the Dodgers over the Blue Jays. So all of this culminated last night in, once again, another extra innings game. So I want to set the scene a little bit. It's daylight savings time. Kelly has gone to bed. The dogs have gone to bed. I am alone. I am just sitting here enjoying a few earthly delights. And I'm watching baseball. I love baseball. I love playoff baseball. I love watching the World Series. The only thing that was missing was in-shell peanuts.
Oh,
that was like that was the thing.
Little Cracker Jacks.
When I was a kid, we would eat in-shell peanuts and watch baseball playoffs.
Yep.
Every year. I love that. I cherish those memories, and that was the only thing missing from this year was that I had already eaten all of my in-shell peanuts and I hadn't gotten more. So I'm watching this game, and it's like the 7th inning, and the Blue Jays are winning, and winning decisively. It's 3-1. And then there's a home run, and you're like, okay, 3-2. And then the Blue Jays score again. Okay, 4-2. This is how a lot of these games have gone, is the Dodgers have great pitching when it's on. When it's on.
When it's on.
But the Blue Jays always have big bats. Always have big bats, and they're not going to lie. And they swing hard. And this is becoming euphemism central, and I don't mean for it to,
Yes,
but here we are.
Yes, you do.
So anyway, the Blue Jays are just going to keep on scoring runs. Well, the Dodgers work their way back in, and now it's 4-4. And you're like, okay. And we get to the end of the ninth, and you're like, really, Jays? You got nothing? The Jays got nothing. And you're left being like, okay, the Dodgers have reached that point where this is it. This is the last game of the season. We don't care about our rotation of pitchers. Next man up is the next starter. Whoever would have been the next starter, he's coming in next. And then the next starter after that. And then the next guy after that. So it's none of these middle relievers, none of these guys. They don't have a Mariano Rivera type. So they're just putting out their starters, their best pitchers. And 10th, 11th, and then finally another home run by the Dodgers. And you're like, okay, all right. But I still expect the Blue Jays to come back and hit another one. Opening swing by Vlad Guerrero Jr., which is like, I grew up watching Vlad Guerrero. So the only thing that I look at with Vlad Guerrero Jr. is like, could you not wear batting gloves? I know your dad is a different person, but like that was the coolest shit was that Vlad Guerrero came up, no armor, no tech, no gear.
He was a tank.
He just came up with a big swing and just cracked it out of the park every fucking time. So Vlad Guerrero Jr. comes up, he belts one into the corner, and you're like, here we go. He gets to second. They bunt him to third. Okay, here we go. They just got to get him around. They don't fucking do it.
Yep.
They don't fucking do it. They hit into a double play, and that's it. And everybody in Toronto, this full stadium is just left silent. And everybody, because I legitimately was just sitting here being like, okay, but the Dodgers are going to blow it because the Dodgers always fucking blow it. I know they won a World Series last year, whatever. This year, the Dodgers have blown it in this series on numerous occasions. Yeah. So they're going to blow it. Nope. They didn't do it.
Played in the game.
I couldn't believe it. I was absolutely shooketh after that. I was supposed to watch Weapons. It was midnight at that point.
That's a 2-hour fucking movie too.
And I was like, I got to take a minute and process what I just watched from this baseball game. I
can't believe you watched Weapons.
I know. So, but go and check it out. The highlights for this World Series are spectacular. Yeah. Well worth checking out. The Blue Jays are just such a dynamic team when it comes to swinging the bat. And that, to me, it's so interesting. And this is where I'll leave off. It's so fascinating because I found myself unable to keep from rooting for the Dodgers. And in this game, all of me is thinking, well, I should be rooting for the Blue Jays because A, they're the underdog. B, if there were a local team to us, it would be the Blue Jays. Yeah. And yet, and they play the version of baseball I like. I'm not here for pitching duels. I'm here for who can hit the ball the furthest, the hardest, over and over and over again. I am here for a home run derby. Yeah. These are all reasons to root for the Blue Jays, and yet, because of Shohei Ohtani, I can't help, and Freddie Freeman to a degree, but mostly Shohei Ohtani, I can't help but root for the Dodgers. And so it was a fascinating World Series. I very much enjoyed it, and I guess fuck the Boston Red Sox. That's the only thing.
Nice. Way to go. Yeah. That's a good way to end that. Fantastic.